this video, I want to talk a little bit about how you can make Nilou work in National. Now, I want to start this video by saying this is not a great team. It's a decent one because I'm playing Shangling with Bennett, and it will be good enough to clear Abyss, but it's not great. However, I think this team is very funny because it shouldn't work, and the interaction that makes it work is pretty interesting. So let's get into it. Nilou E has two modes. It has on-field mode and off-field mode, with on-field having a little faster hydro application. However, if you're going to try to use it, it will not be enough to put away the pyro that Shangling applies. And this is made just so you can play Vape Nilou with high constellations, because, well, then she actually deals quite a decent damage. However, without constellation, the Vape Nilou is not really good. And so if I'm going to try to use Nilou as a Vape carry, the result will be pretty bad without constellations. And I can demonstrate to you, if I'm going to use Shangling's ult, the pyro is always on the enemy. So Nilou alone is just not enough to put it away. So what can you do about it? The thing is that we actually don't need that much hydro for Shangling to always vape. The good example of it will be if I'm just going to start with Barbara applying hydro and then using Shangling's Pyronada. Well, as you can see, Bishop has hydro, it still has hydro. Now I lost it because I got interrupted, and oh, now it's going to be a problem to get it back, but it was there for quite some time. So all we need is just a little more hydro to put away that pyro that sometimes can appear. And the character who can do that is, unironically, Nilou herself. You see, her E works in a very weird way that if you put her on Sacrificial Sword, you can actually get both E's at the same time. So if I start with off-field E, and then follow up with normal attack E, you see, I have both E's at the same time. And so if I'm going to try to use it now with Shangling, I'm even going to try to use Goba. As you can see, I'm vaping Shangling. So it works. Now all we need to do is put it in the actual rotation and give everyone the right artifacts. So the rotation would be Nilou's ult, Bennett's QE, Goba, Goba's Swirl, Shangling's ult, Nilou's double E, and you vaping. By the time when you're almost about to get ult, yeah, I usually like to swap to Bennett, refresh, use the E one more time, get myself an energy, and then I start rotation over. Now, as for the character builds, I found it so much better to use Nilou on Noblesse. Her personal damage is very low, and it's just never really worth, because Shangling is going to be most of your damage anyway, so you might as well buff her. And another thing you will face is that you will need quite a lot of energy recharge, so you will not get a lot of damage from Nilou anyway. So yeah, Noblesse with a lot of energy recharge. For Sucrose, you chose Sucrose build because you are swapping from Sucrose to Shangling. Using 3 Little Tails is a very good thing. For this winner, classic Sucrose stuff. For Shangling, also normal Shangling build. The thing to keep in mind though is energy recharge, and in this team you will need quite a lot of it because, well, you can't swap from Nilou, so you can't battery Shangling that much as you can do in classic Sucrose National. And for the Bennett, for this team you can actually run not Noblesse but the Instructor, and that's another thing that if you start with Nilou's ult gives you. It gives you free Instructor, The thing is also is that you will need quite a lot of energy recharge, so keep that in mind. It might not be possible with your instructor because it's harder to get good instructor with the ER, but yeah. But ideal set is instructor for the Bennett. Now, as for the Kazuha, he works, but I don't really like him over Sucrose here. Um, his buff is smaller than Thrilling Tales Sucrose, and there's no setup that only Kazuha can do. For example, in International, there is a setup that is very easy to do with Kazuha that makes the team good. In this team, I didn't find anything like that, so I don't see like a real advantage from him over Sucrose. But he works. You can play him. Maybe you can find some use for him specifically, but I would always play Sucrose, but he's still a very fine option. Now, before I end this video, I want to show something interesting about Nilou's E. It's not something very useful and something you can get advantage of it, but it is something that threw me off when I started playing this team. Basically, if I'm going to try to use Nilou's normal attacks, they will continue, the combo will continue no matter what I do. Basically, if I'm just walking, running, dashing, the combo continues. Basically, this attack string will always happen in this order. There's no way you can skip it. It's not something useful again, but it is something that may feel weird if you're gonna play this. With that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed the current Abyss clear, and see you some other time.
It's now it's never, and I've got to make my decision. This time could be my moment. If this I'm right, or just to fulfill my mission. I'm living in a darling. The left is in a lost end. A heartbeat for demon. Always is in a changeland. I'm giving the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now. Hoping for my life is over. One track just a vengeance, I'm out of this little dark vision. Don't ask if I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I just saw the new stars, there's no time for indecision. I'm living in a darling. The left is in a lost head. When I hop off new beginnings, burn our feet. Now we need a heartbeat for demon. Oasis in a siege land. Remind us what we're here for. Creating new lives. Creating rivers in the desert. My heart is a furnace, I'm selling my word of conflict. One goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask if I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The track for a new start is constantly drawing near.